Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Monday Noontide. I'm Heidi Thompson of Lifeguarding Legacies, and I am really excited today to get to speak with Kimberly Mitchell. As you know, here at Lifeguarding Legacies, I serve as your legacy lifeguard, trying to help you make sure that the things you've been working for go flawlessly to the people you love and the causes you care about. So without any further ado, I'm so excited to have my very good friend and also someone with the Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce, Kimberly Mitchell. Kimberly, glad
Hello.
to have you here.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I've been waiting to have you on the show because for those that don't know, she's just such a good friend and such a great person to know. She's just pure joy and she has such a heart for service. So, hey, Kimberly, tell me about you first, you and your family.
Um, my husband and I, we have two girls that are almost 9 and 13 and a half, as they would all point out. So let's see, 3rd grade and 8th grade, although it's, a different kind of a start to
Learning
this year.
world, yes.
Yes, but it's chugging along one day at a time.
Good, good.
And
And you and your husband own a great company.
We do. We own a home care agency. It's called Home with Help, and we provide non-medical services to seniors in their private homes to try to keep them as safe and independent in their own home as possible until, of course, it's not safe to do that anymore.
Very good. So talk to me about your caregivers. You help handpick and train and work with your caregivers.
Yes. Our best caregiver referrals is coming from other caregivers. Sometimes, of course, we need to advertise in various places to find new caregivers. But my husband and I will interview them ourselves, and we have them in the office. Even in the current environment, we have mask and all coming on in and having the face-to-face, because obviously you can learn a lot more when they're right in front of you. And they all have to have a minimum of CPR and first aid, have been TB tested, and then there's courses like direct care worker courses that they go, and there's a variety of other certifications that they can get.
Awesome. And so what kind of clientele? I mean, wide range of ages or kind of a certain group?
I would say the majority is going to be the senior in the 70s, 80s, 90s kind of area. Unfortunately, there are sometimes clients that are significantly younger that have a lot of health issues and whatnot that need help. But the majority is definitely a senior. And it's, it can be short or long term. And so sometimes it's somebody that's maybe recovering from a hip surgery or stroke or something that we are only working with them for a month or two, and then they don't, quite frankly, they don't need us anymore, which are always
the good thing.
Yeah, as opposed to the alternative.
Fantastic. Now, what drew you into this field?
Well, I was lucky enough at the age of 25. I had all 4 of my grandparents alive, and I had a great grandmother. Bless her. She was 103 when she passed. So I got to see my grandparents and my parents, with all of them, sort of go through the caring at home, to the assisted livings, to the group homes, to the hospice, sort of all of the different stages. And each grandparent sort of had a different story and a different situation. So there it was just kind of like our clients, like, none of them are the same, every single situation is different. So we kind of got to see all of the stages. And then when we were moving back, because we didn't live in this country for about 14 years, it's just seemed like a natural sort of progression to, it was going to be helping people. And be it sometimes it's very, very busy, but we can we can work from home a little bit. So it's nice in our lifestyle to be able to spend more time with our kids than a lot of other entrepreneurial positions. So
Yes.
it's sort of a variety of reasons why we ended up doing what we're doing.
So you got to see firsthand what it was like for seniors who maybe didn't have all the support and help they needed and thought that you could really make a difference there.
Yes, which is also why we partner with like home health agencies and palliatives and hospice and all of the things that it's not my forte and it's not what we do, but that way the senior gets all the possible resources that we can find for them. And the idea is obviously to make their life as easy and as best as possible to get them back to being independent if that's ultimately a possibility.
That's wonderful. So what kinds of things could the caregivers do for and with the people that they're caring for?
Well, pretty much any non-medical thing in a day you can think of. So some clients that we just help fairly minimally, we take them to like the grocery store, prep some meals, do some light cleaning around the house or some laundry. Some clients are, we're helping 24/7 and they're not able to do barely anything at all. So we are getting them up, brushing teeth, brushing hair, grooming just in general, personal care, helping to the restroom or adult diapers, showers. Those that are active, a little bit more active and want to get out. Sometimes we've had some that we've taken to hockey games, we've taken to the casino, we've taken to a variety of whatever their social, world looks like.
So great.
Hair appointments. Hair appointments are a big
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Church sometimes. So, pretty much anything that they, want to do within reason.
So really, even companion care, really.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. For some, they just, there's no family here. They can't drive anymore. So it's having some, good conversation with another human being and then being taken, to the variety of appointments or the bank or the pharmacy or, whatever they need. And there's a minimum of 4 hours in a shift. So as long as they, have that, it's really up to them of, where they want to go and what they want to do if they're active and able to go do those things.
That
Which is
seems
fun.
like yeah, absolutely. That seems like
Yeah.
such a great option. Being home alone, I remember my grandmother lived on her own and, she seemed pretty content with the life. She did all her planted her flowers until whenever and her house always smelled so good. But I remember thinking it just seemed so lonely. Something like that might have been nice. Of course, we went
Yeah.
and saw her whenever we could, but
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just a great
Yeah.
service.
I mean, and they have, obviously there's some really great like senior community centers and, adult daycare type places. Right now, not a lot of people are wanting to go to anything with too many people. So
Right.
having the one-on-one is, better. Or those that can't get out too much, it's just too tiring to try to do all of those things. So just having somebody at the house. And then, they just throw a load of laundry in all at the same time or,
Sure.
prep a meal or
Beautiful.
something else that they need.
Love it. So I know that you are, as an active businesswoman, you're also active in the community. There are things that you like to do to serve others. Can you tell me about those?
So like as volunteer type
Sure.
stuff,
Charities you care about. Things that,
on a very personal level, because I have two girls, there's a program that's called Girls Roll Foundation that is all about empowering girls between ages of 12 to 18 and learning leadership skills and some finance things, like a lot of things that
so important.
right, and like things the founder, she's a life coach, like business coach as a career. And she was thinking, why do I teach just the women already in their 30s, 40s, 50s? And if I, we all knew some of these things when we were 13, 14, 15, 16,
Compounding
maybe you make,
interest. Oh.
right. Yeah, that would be a good one too. Your
Yeah.
credit, not
Sure.
messing that up, all kinds of stuff. So that's on a personal level, since I've been able to take my oldest daughter on those. There's some other daughter summits that we sponsor every quarter. They have a camp each summer. There's a variety of things, so people can just look that up. I think it's girlsruralfoundation.org, maybe,
Okay.
because it's a it's a 501c kind of thing. And the other, I'm a CASA, which stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate, and that is just everyday people that are appointed by a judge to help advocate for foster children or children in the foster system. Ideally, everybody gets back on track and they get reunified with the family. Fortunately, that doesn't always work out that way, but the CASA's role is taking all the information from all the different parts of the kid's life or children, if there's siblings. So speaking with the teacher, speaking with the therapist, speaking with the lawyers, speaking with the parents, grandparents, whatever, whoever is involved in that child's life, sort of putting a bunch of pieces together, and we write a report a couple weeks before the court dates for the judge to try to get an idea, and from somebody that has absolutely no agenda. Not the lawyers have agenda. Everybody's got an agenda, and ours is just to advocate to try to find the best placement situation for those kid or kids in that family. It's a good program, and they don't have enough of them.
Fantastic thing. I recognize the CASA. That's, that really, you're absolutely right. Everyone else in the courtroom has an agenda. They have someone they're serving, and having a CASA that's only about the best interest of the child. That's the only piece that really plays in. They're just trying to get the whole picture and get through the parts that are fake. Because we all
and
know
we're volunteer. Everybody else is getting paid.
Right.
So
Right.
they have their own agenda, and it's their job and all those things, and the CASA is strictly volunteer. So it's just all about what is really the best for these kids.
I'd love to know, have you noticed any difference in that process lately? I mean, with kids being at home more, there's less reporting, but at the same time, I would think there's more calls. So I don't know.
I mean, for me, in what I'm required to do, so like court hearings, of course, are all like on Zoom, and I'm not sure if it's about to change, just because a lot of other things are changing, but up until today, it was phone calls and not having a lot of in-person contact, which is not usually a good thing. Statistically, what I've heard from like social workers and things is that the calls are very much down, which is because no one is seeing the kids. They're at home in sometimes very bad situations. They're not at school. They're not in clubs or whatever the case may be, and there's no one to see it to report it. So when school goes back and things open up, I have a feeling they're going to really need some help then.
Okay. All right. So we'll definitely get back to your business and get the contact information there. But if someone wanted to be involved, since you said there's a shortage of CASA, do you know how they would do that? Is there just a website to go to, casa.org or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a Maricopa. I know, I have to look it up. It might be maricopacasa.org, but I'm sure if they just plugged in Arizona CASA that they would get more information.
Sure. No, because I think you're right. I think once kids are back in the public eye, we'll start to uncover some things, and there probably will be an increased demand. And so if people wanted to get involved, that would be something they could do. And fantastic.
Oh, for sure. And they're always looking for, I think, more male CASAs too.
Okay.
There's a lot more female volunteers generally speaking. And there's particularly like teenage boys that don't have a good male bond and connection and whatnot, and having a healthy, relationship for somebody that's really just looking out for them would be great.
That's fantastic. Great call. Thank you. Well, you can probably already tell just about Kimberly, just where her heart is. She's serving, she's loving, she's kind. Her whole business is around service, and it's absolutely a true picture of who she is. And Kimberly, I just appreciate you so much. So tell me, if people were looking to talk to you about Home with Help for an aging or a disabled loved one, how would they get in touch with you?
Either the phone number to the office is 480-941-0200, and the website is homewithhelp.net.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I look forward to posting this out there and hopefully getting this information in front of more people, letting them know you, letting them know your heart, letting them know about how they can help their loved ones and how they can help our community. And Kimberly, it's just always a joy. Thanks so much for coming on here. And
Thanks for having
you bet. So
me.
this was our episode of Monday Noontide for August 10th, 2020. And I am your legacy lifeguard, Heidi Thompson with Lifeguarding Legacies. If you need a will or trust, please know that procrastination is not your friend. Uh, we need to get this done, get it checked off the checklist, experience the peace of mind with knowing that this is done and on the shelf and going to work for you when situations arise that we don't want to have to deal with or think about, so you don't have to think about it or worry about it anymore. So Heidi Thompson with Lifeguarding Legacies, lifeguardinglegacies.com, or my phone number is 602-529-1827. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Heidi. Bye.
Bye.